Jonathan Lee Riches Investigates. I am covering the Moscow, Idaho Bryan Kohberger case. Let's talk about the Moscow, Idaho home being demolished. There's a lot of talk out there on when and how this Moscow, Idaho home will get demolished. You know, the home where 4 college students got brutally stabbed during the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022. The home has fencing around it. It's boarded up. The home was gifted over to the University of Idaho. There's talks that it will be demolished. But when? When will it get demolished? Because there's rumors it will be soon. There's some rumors it will be this summer. And then some feel that it shouldn't be demolished to after the outcome of the Bryan Kohberger trial. Steve Gonzalez, one of the victims' family members, spoke to Ashley Banfield about the home being demolished. I'm going to play this clip and then we'll further discuss. Check it out.
I know the university was going to keep you updated as to the plans to demolish 1122 King Road. They said it would happen during the semester. Now the semester is over. Have they kept their word at the university and kept you informed about the plan for the demolition? And as well as that, have all the parents been able to pick up their kids' belongings for the final time?
We have not been able to pick those things up, which we would understand that might be very close to the moment that it's down, that it's going to be torn down, like maybe equipment's moving in. So we've pushed back a little bit just because different parents have seen different court cases and have tried to get themselves self-educated on what we're going to go through. And they've found cases where important evidence had been discovered and they went back to the crime scene and actually it clarified things for different jury members. I don't know the exact story, but I just know that that's a reality that has been spoken to me. So we pushed back and said, hey, let's wait on this until at least everybody's on the same page, including the defendant. I want the defendant to be able to say, there's nothing in that house that's important to us. I want the truth. We want the right person. So we have every motion to sit back and say, hey, we can slow this down. We don't have to rush anything. I understand it's a little difficult for the community, but we all have to come together and we have to do what's right for these young adults that were put in this situation, and we're the only voices that they have. So we've asked to slow that down, and they've respected that.
Steve Gonzalez, it's good to see you again and talk to you again. I can't thank you enough for volunteering to be on this program with us. And I know that a lot of the people who are watching right now, if you can feel it, they're sending their love to you just like we are as well. And to Christy and the kids as well. Our best to you.
Thank you.
So you heard from Steve. What's your thoughts on that? Will it get demolished and when? You know, there has been other high-profile crimes out there, like the O.J. Simpson trial, Alec Murdaugh trial, where the jurors visited the home. Do you think the Moscow home should be torn down before trial or torn down after trial? Before trial, maybe this summer, because Brian Enton is reporting that it's possible that the home will be demolished this summer. Check it out.
As you've learned something exclusively today about the home behind you. We've been, back and forth on the plans for what's going to happen. The neighbors don't want that house to be standing anymore. The families of the victims don't want it to be torn down. And the university said something. What happened?
They did. Today, we confirmed with the university that they still do plan to demolish the house behind me where the murders happened here in Moscow sometime this summer. That's significant because just last night, we were reporting that we had the feeling that the house was going to stay for now because they've got this little hut behind me. They've got a more permanent security guard who's out here. The families have asked for it to stay up in case the jury wants to tour it when there's eventually a trial, if there's eventually a trial. So we were under the impression like this house was going to stay for a while. Maybe that's why it was boarded up. But no, the university today saying the plan is still to tear it down sometime this summer. So pretty soon.
Wow. And they had just said to you recently that The plan was that if there was some discrepancy and the families couldn't come to terms with the prosecutor and the defense in this case, that ultimately the judge would make a decision. But since there's a gag order, we don't know if that happened. We really don't know, what happened or why that summer demolition plan might still be on. Bryan Enton, great reporting. Thank you so much for this today.
This summer, that would be before the trial, because the trial is scheduled for October 2nd, 2023, this fall. But some people think, hey, the jurors should go there. I can tell you that some of the jurors that went to the Alec Murdaugh's property have said on the record that their decision on guilty or not guilty was based off after they went to that property and seen firsthand. What was discussed in the courtroom is a lot different than actually going to a property. I was there at Alec Murdaugh's house. I made a video out there. I was live when the jurors were out there, and I could see their faces at a distance. I saw the jurors there, and they were actually looking around and very interested in that property. Will the same happen in the Moscow case? Will there be a delay in this maybe demolition this summer? Will the victims' families file a petition to stop the demolition of this property? Or do you think it's full speed ahead and it doesn't matter, destroy it and move on, even before Bryan Kohberger, has his trial? If he goes to trial, he might not even go to trial. And the demolition, if the university, has a plan to demolish it before Bryan Kohberger's trial, maybe there's something in the works in the making of a plea bargain where Bryan Kohberger will not go to trial. And they just say, well, if he's not going to trial, what's the point of holding it to after the trial? Though people can renege on their pleas too. So I don't know what's going on here. I want to know your thoughts, but I wanted to share the thoughts on Steve Gonzalez, one of the victims' families, about that home to be demolished. Personally, I'll give you my take on it. Here's my take. I understand the university wants to tear the house down because it's part of Greek Road and it's bad for business. But the interests of the university should not be prioritized over getting justice for these victims. I don't think the university should have any say in what happens to the home until after the trial's over. And I think Lake County needs to step in here and order a hold on the demolition. Stop the demolition. No demolition. I mean, they have audio from the door cam with Murphy barking and other noises. You mean to tell me the jury isn't going to want to hear from that house what is audible from the recording location? They don't want to go inside the house to kind of feel for the house, go up and down the steps, hear, the hardwood flooring, how close all the floors are together, trying to get an idea of what goes on inside that home? Of course they would want to. They would want some perspective on inside of the home. So I don't think they should tear it down. Do you? Subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button. Covering this case, check out my Moscow, Idaho playlist. Will they demolish the home before trial or not, or afterward, or if not at all, or soon? And what's your thoughts about that? I'll read your comments. We'll talk soon. Justice for the victims and their families. Everyone be safe. God bless.